Good day, everyone. I am Danny Camper and I am your virtual tour for today's video. Now, let's all know about the three countries in Africa, which is Djibouti, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. First thing first, let's all know about Djibouti. Djibouti, Djibouti is known as the Pearl of the Gulf of Tadjoura. Due to its location, Djibouti is strategically positioned near the world's busiest shipping lanes and act as an affluent and transshipment center. This is the flag of Djibouti. Djibouti's flag consists of blue and white and green and one star. The capital of Djibouti is Djibouti. And the form of government of Djibouti is multi-party government with the one legislative house and national assembly. Based on the map, the location of Djibouti is bounded by Eritrea to the north, Ethiopia to the west, southwest, and Somalia to the south. The Gulf of Tadjoura, which opens into the Gulf of Aden, bifurcates the eastern half of the country and supplies much of its 230 miles, or 370 kilometers of the coastline. The often various torrid climate varies between the major two seasons, which is the cool seasons last from October to April, while the hot seasons last from May to September. This is the physical feature of Djibouti. Djibouti's physical feature is varied and extreme, ranging from rugged mountains in the north to a series of low deserts plains separated by parallel plateaus in the west and south. Its highest peak is the Mount Mosa of 6,654 feet or 2,028 meters. The lowest point, which is also the lowest in Africa, is the Saline Lake Assal, which it have 500 feet or 155 meters below sea level. The language used of Djibouti is French and Arabic. The Republic recognizes two languages, which is the language used in Djibouti is Arabic and French. The Republic recognizes two official languages, which is the French and Arabic. However, Somali is the most widely spoken language, although it is rarely written and is not taught in school. This is the currency of Djibouti, the franc DGF, Djiboutian franc. The air carrier of Djibouti is also known as the Red Sea Airline. It is the flag carrier of Djibouti. It first flew in 1963 and ceased all operation in 2002. The major international airport in Djibouti is the Djibouti Ambali Airport. It is used joint civil and military use airport situated in the town of Ambali. We can visit Djibouti because it is visa-free for Filipinos. The tourism tagline of Djibouti is Unity, Equality, Peace. Djibouti is known for the Pearl of the Gulf of Tadjoura. There are some 5 attractions in Djibouti. The Lake Assal, or Honey Lake. It is a crater lake at the western end of the Gulf of Tadjoura. It's 155 meters below sea level, making it the second lowest land depression on Earth after the Dead Sea. Second is the Tadjoura. Tadjoura is one of the oldest towns on the east coast of Africa and dates back at least 12th century, governed by the Sultan. Tadjoura was once a great port for goods between Djibouti and Ethiopia. And the third is the Gubaas Plain. This area, located between Lake Abe and the Henley Lake Plain, is a great place for bird watchers. And the fourth one is Dorel and Cor Ambado. These two amazing beaches are located about 15 kilometers from Djibouti City. Here you'll find some great swimming and black lava cliff that borders the beach. And the last is the Tropical Aquarium. The Tropical Aquarium is one of the country's top tourist draws, located in the historic part of town. It's considered one of the best in all of Africa. The number of ethnic groups in Djibouti has a population of about 9,021. There are two large ethnic groups native to Djibouti, are the Somali with 60% and the Afar with 35%. The Somali clan component is mainly composed of Isa, followed by the Gadabursi and the Isak. The remaining 5% of Djibouti's population is primarily consists of Yemeni and Arabs. This is the festival of Djibouti. Djibouti's festival is New Year's Day, Independence Day, Ramadan, Fest Horn, and Christmas Day. The culture of Djibouti is a multi-ethnic country. Djibouti enjoys a rich interwoven culture based on tribal tradition. In addition to Afars and Isaas, subclans like Gadabursi also inhabit the country. The national costume of Djibouti were the dirak, which is a long, light, diaphanous voile dress made of cotton or polyester that is worn over a full-length half-sleeve and a bra. Married women tend to sport head scarves referred to as shash, and also often cover their upper body with a shawl known as garbasar. The traditions of Djibouti prominent art form in Djibouti include dancing and singing, especially on Independence Day. Celebration on June 27 at wedding, holiday, special occasion. One of the most important cultural events in Djibouti is the annual festival of music and singing in the Horn of Africa, or Fest Horn. This is the second country, which is the Eritrea. Eritrea is a small country in the Horn of Africa, bordering Ethiopia, Djibouti, and the Red Sea. Eritrea has one of the best colonial architectural structures in the world. Their cultures remain intact, diverse, and colorful, with 9 ethnic groups. You can see the flag of the Eritrea, which consists of green, blue, and red. This is the capital of Eritrea, the Asmara. The form of government of Eritrea is a transitional regime with one interim legislative house, transitional or national assembly. The location of Eritrea based on map is the country is bounded to the southeast by Djibouti, to the south by Ethiopia, and to the west by Sudan. Eritrea has a wide variety of climatic conditions, produced mainly by differences in elevation. The effect of elevation are most seen clearly in the wide range of temperature experienced throughout the country. On the coast of Massawa, or Mitsiwa, has one of the highest average in the world, about 300 degrees Celsius, while Asmara only 400 miles or 65 kilometers away, yet roughly 750 feet. Eritrea is classified into 5 climate regions. All 5 are cooler during the winter months of the northern hemisphere and hotter during the summer months of the northern hemisphere. This is the physical feature of the country. It is a central plateau that varies from 1,800 to 3,000 meters, or 6,906 to 9,843 feet above sea level. A coastal plain, western lowlands, and some 350 islands comprise the remainder of Eritrea's land mass. The language used of Eritrea is Tigrinya, Arabic, English. Eritrea has no official language. This is the currency of Eritrea, the Nakfa or ERL. The air carrier of Eritrea is the Eritrean Airlines, AITA code B8. The flag carrier of Eritrea, controlled by the government and operating from their headquarters at Asmara International Airport. The major international airports of Eritrea is the Asmara International Airport, the AATA ESM ICAO is the international airport of Asmara. The capital of Eritrea, it is the country's largest airport, and as of 2012, the only one receiving regular scheduled services. You can visit Eritrea because it is visa-free for Philippines. The tourism taglines of Eritrea is land where within 2 hours you can experience the youthful joy of spring, the warmth of summer, and the mellow of rainfall of winter. The slogan of our national tourist organization, the land of 3 seasons in 2 hours, is a testimony to the diversity of climate that is found within a relatively small area. The top 5 tourist destination of Eritrea is the Massawa. Massawa it is so much fun to stroll through the streets and alleys, discovering old small porticos, arcades, and whitewashed buildings tucked here and there. The second is the Imperial Palace. The Imperial Palace, overlooking the harbor in the Massawa, is the Imperial Palace, the original building dated back to the 16th century and was built by a Turk named Osdemir Pasha. The current building was built in 1960s century by Werner Mozinger and was used by Ethiopian Emperor. And the third is the St. Miriam Cathedral. The St. Miriam Cathedral is an Orthodox church in Massawa. These beautiful buildings include a lovely mural on the outside of the building that most find incredible welcoming. And the fourth is the Dalat Marine National Park. The Dalat Marine National Park, surrounded by water and located in the Dalat Archipelago, is the Dalat Marine National Park. This is a dense ecosystem largely undisturbed by man. You'll find turtles, dolphins, manta rays, and over 300 species of fish. And the last is the Koheto. The Koheto is between Asmara and Sinape. It's one of the most famous archaeological sites in the Eritrea. Here you'll find the ruins of Sabras dams and King Saba's place, dating the Aksumite and pre-Aksumite periods. This is the ethnic groups of Eritrea. There are 9 officially recognized ethnic groups in Eritrea: the Afar, Blaine, Hidareb, Kunama, Nara, Rashaidu, Sahu, Tigri, and Tigray. The festival of Eritrea has New Year's Day, Orthodox Epiphany, Finkel Day, Birth of the Prophet, Women's Day, Independence Day, Martyrs Day, Anniversary of the start of the armed struggle, Eid al-Fitr. This marks the end of Ramadan, the holy month of fasting. The date changes yearly according to the lunar calendar. The Eidul al-Adha. This is an important religious holiday in Eritrea to honor the willingness of Abraham, the prophet, to sacrifice his firstborn. The date changes yearly, and the last one is the Christmas Day. The culture of Eritrea is the Eritrean cuisine. It is a traditional Ethiopian, Somalian, Eritrean cooking with a hint of influences from neighboring countries, as well as the countries from its colonial day. Chibi or stew served with injera, flatbread, and helbit or tasty paste made from lentil fava beans. It's basically spiced, shredded, and oiled bread served with fresh yogurt and beverage as a dip. And the national costume of Eritrea is the Eritrean cultural dress, which is habishi and kimes. The habishi kimes is a white hand-woven cotton clothing that is made from shema. The shema is traditionally hand-woven by wood weavers, and handmade patterns known as tibet are made using woven shiny threads and are added to the kimes on the waistband and each. The traditions of Eritrea is one of the most recognizable part. It is the culture coffee ceremony. Coffee is offered with visiting friends during festivities or as a daily staple of life. If coffee is politely declined, then most likely tea. Here we go. We're at the last country of Africa, which is the Ethiopia. Ethiopia is the largest and most populated country in the Horn of Africa. With that 1993 secession of Eritrea, it's a former province along the Red Sea. The capital of Eritrea is the Addis Ababa. The form of government is Federal Republic with two legislative houses, House of the Federation and House of the People's Representatives. The location of Ethiopia based map is bounded by Eritrea to the north and Djibouti to the northeast, Somalia to the east, Kenya to the south, and South Sudan and Sudan to the west. Ethiopia is located in the tropical latitudes. Its areas of lower elevation experience climatic conditions of tropical, savanna or desert. There are 3 seasons in Ethiopia. From September to February is the long dry seasons known as the Bega. This is followed by a short rainy seasons, the Belge. In March and April, May is hot and dry month, preceding the long rainy seasons are crimped. In June, July, and August, the coldest temperatures generally occur in December or January, and the hottest is in March, April, or May. However, in many localities, July has the coldest temperature because of the moderating influence of rainfall. This is the physical feature of Eritrea. The terrains consist of high plateaus, mountains, and dry lowlands. Plains. Ethiopia has some of the world's most rugged and beautiful scenery. Changes in vegetation and terrains offer striking differences are readily apparent when traveling in any directions. From Addis Ababa, fertile farmland, high mountains with a crater lakes. The language use of Eritrea, according to the data of the 2021 Ethnologue, the largest first language are Oromo, Amharic, Somali, Tigrinya, Sidama, Wolaita, and Afar. The currency used by Ethiopians are the current Ethiopian BIR. The air carrier of Ethiopia is the Ethiopian Airlines, owned by the country's government. It is based at Bole International Airport, ADD in Addis Ababa. The major international airports of Ethiopia is the Addis Ababa Bole International Airport. Is an international airport in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. It is in the Bole district, 6 km or 6.7 miles southeast of the city center and 65 meters north of Bishop. We cannot freely visit Ethiopia because it requires a visa for entry and travel from the Philippines. The process of acquiring an Ethiopia visa for Philippine citizens has been simplified. The tourism taglines of Ethiopia is 13 months of sunshine to the land of origins. The former tourism motto served over a century in motivating the nation's diversified natural and man-made tourism endowments. Ethiopia derives from the Greek ethio, meaning burn, and pia, meaning face, the land of worn face. Here are some 5 tourist destinations in Ethiopia. The first destination in Ethiopia is the Labela. Labela is pretty much blow the mind of everyone who visits. This medieval settlement was designed to be a kind of second Jerusalem and modern-day inhabitants. The second is the Harar. The Harar is the historic and walled city. Its mesmerizing web of narrow alleys built in the early 16th century. It is the oldest Islamic city in Africa. And the next is the Gundar. Gundar is the 18th century of Ethiopia, wherein the Emperor Fasilidas built his fairy tale castle. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is now a wonderful museum complex that showcases the last centuries of the country's emperors. And the next is the Blue Nile Falls. The river is the longest in Africa, and its 2 tributaries are the White Nile and the Blue Nile. The Blue Nile begins in Ethiopia and along its course you'll find the Blue Nile Falls as spots of rival Niagara. And the last one is the Danakil Depression. The Danakil Depression position is near the borders between Ethiopia and Eritrea. It, it is officially one of the driest and hottest places on earth. The Festival of Ethiopia is a colorful event, mostly religious and frequently take place over several days. Important Christian holidays include Meskel, Christmas, Timkat, Kiddush, Yohannes, and Easter's. Timkat, which is marks Christ Baptist, is the most colorful event of the year. In September, the two-day feast of Meskel marks the finding of the true cross. Kiddush Yohannes, New Year's Day comes on September 11th, which coincides with the end of the seasons of heavy rains. The culture of Ethiopia, having never been colonized, the Ethiopian region differs from other African countries in many ways. The customs of Ethiopia continue to be deeply rooted in centuries of practice and many aspects of daily life. There is a correct traditional way to serve coffee, fold the dress, cat, chicken, and greet people. The country also has its own ancient alphabets and calendar. The national costume of Ethiopia and tradition, woven cotton. Ethiopian men and women wear the traditional costume called gabe or nitela. Women often wear dresses kemes and nitela with borders of colored embroidered woven crosses, but other designs are also used. Their tradition is arranged by the bride and the groom's family. It is customary for the bride's family to give the groom's family's gift at the time of marriage. There are regional variations in traditions in Ethiopia. In some regions, the groom is expected to give jewelry and the wedding dress to his bride. Celebrations in Ethiopia are great and colorful events, mostly religious. This includes the Christmas, Meskel, Timkat, Kiddush, Yohannes, and Easter. That's all for the three countries in Africa, which is the Djibouti, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. Thank you.